Hey, coin lovers! Have you ever found a penny on the sidewalk and thought, what if this little guy is worth a small fortune? Well, today, we're diving into a penny that's definitely worth more than its face value, way more. I'm talking about the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny. You won't believe its value. Stick around to find out how a simple penny could be worth a whopping $1.80 million. Now, I know what you're thinking, a penny? That's gotta be a mistake. But nope, this isn't your average copper circle. We're about to talk about a coin that could make you a millionaire, and we're going to break down exactly why this penny is way more than just spare change. So, let's get into it, buddy. Alright, first things first. The 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't like your typical penny. Normally, every penny minted by the US has a mint mark, showing where it was made, like D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. But here's the kicker: the 1967 penny, for whatever quirky reason, was minted without a mint mark. A simple mistake, right? Well, it turns out, this little error made this penny worth millions. Picture this: you're going through your change at the store, and you find a 1967 penny without a mint mark. You might think, it's just another penny, right? Wrong. You could be holding a ticket to a very big payday. The scarcity of this specific error made it a prime target for collectors, which is exactly why this penny can go for as much as $1.8 million in the current market. Now, let's break this down a little. Imagine you're at a yard sale, and you find an old jar of pennies. You're like, oh great, just what I needed, more junk. But then you spot that 1967 penny, and suddenly, your heart skips a beat. Why? Because you know the value of it. So, just like that, your hobby of collecting pennies could turn into a full-blown treasure hunt. It's like that feeling when you discover that secret menu item at your favorite fast food joint that no one knows about, except this one is worth a whole lot more than just a burger. And here's the funny part: I actually had a similar experience once. I was at a garage sale, just trying to score some cheap old records, by the way, when I noticed a jar of coins sitting in the corner. The seller didn't even seem to care about them, so I thought I'd take a look. I started flipping through the pennies, and I found a few from the 1940s, which were kinda cool. But then, in the middle of the jar, I found a 1967 penny with no mint mark. My heart literally raced. I didn't even know what I had at first. Fortunately, I had my phone on me, so I quickly checked it out. Let me tell you, I felt like I'd just discovered buried treasure. Simple rarity. You see, the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny was originally meant to be minted in Philadelphia, but a lot of them somehow got out into circulation without the mint mark. And while errors like this aren't super rare, this particular one is hard to come by. Collectors and numismatists, that's a fancy word for coin experts, love chasing down these little mistakes because they know that a coin with an unusual history or characteristic can be worth a lot of money. Plus, there are just not that many of these pennies in circulation anymore. Time has done its work, many were lost, worn out, or melted down. So, if you find one, you've got a gold mine, well, a penny mine, anyway. So, the next time you're at a garage sale, or even just walking around, take a second to check your pennies. You might just find that rare gem worth a fortune. If you happen to have one of these 1967 no mint mark pennies in your collection, congratulations, you're sitting on $1.80 million. And hey, if you're serious about finding more coins like this and diving deeper into the world of coin collecting, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll keep bringing you tips, tricks, and strategies to find coins that could turn your spare change into serious cash. And, let's face it, who doesn't love the idea of finding a coin worth millions? Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're planning to go hunting for these treasures. I'd love to hear your stories. And don't forget to share this video with your friends, because we all know someone who's just dying to know what's in their old coin jar. Okay, I know what you're thinking: a penny worth $1 million? Yeah, right. But trust me, folks, this one isn't just any penny. It's the 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and it's worth a whopping $1.1 million. Yes, you heard me correctly, a penny that could change your life if you have the right one hidden in your pocket. Stick around, because today we're going to dive into why this little copper coin is so valuable and how you can spot it among the other pennies in your jar. Oh, and don't go spending it just yet. Let's break this down. So, what makes the 1973 no mint mark penny such a big deal? Well, first things first, let's talk about the mint mark or the lack of it. Normally, pennies have a little letter on them indicating where they were made: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. But the 1973 penny? No mint mark at all. And let me tell you, that tiny little omission is a huge deal. You see, in 1973, most pennies were stamped with a mint mark. But for whatever reason, a small batch of pennies came out of the Philadelphia Mint without one. This little mistake? Massive money if you've got one. Imagine this: you're digging through a jar of old pennies, looking for a little extra change for the vending machine. And then, bam! You find one. You check it twice. Nope, it doesn't say D or S, it's just a plain old 1973 penny. At first, you're like, cool, a regular penny. But little do you know, this could be your ticket to the big time. Now, I know what you're thinking: how could a penny like that possibly be worth a fortune? Well, folks, it's all about rarity. You see, because these 1973 pennies slipped through the cracks, they were never meant to be released into circulation. The fact that they exist today makes them extremely rare, and in the world of coins, rare equals valuable. Fast forward to today, and if you've got one of these hidden in your collection, you could be sitting on a small fortune, $1.1 million worth of fortune. Yes, it's true, a single penny, that's how much it could go for in top condition. And, let's be real, I bet a lot of us have tossed around pennies without a second thought. But now, you know better. The next time you find one of these, I want you to hold it up and ask, is this the $1 million penny? Spoiler alert, it just might be. So, how can you spot a 1973 no mint mark penny? First, look for the year, 1973. Check that it's a regular penny, and then, this is key, inspect the reverse. There's no mint mark. It's that simple. But, of course, condition matters. If it's all scratched up or worn down, it's probably not going to fetch a fortune. But in mint condition? You're looking at a coin that's literally worth more than its weight in gold. Now, here's where it gets exciting. This story isn't over yet. If you've got a 1973 no mint mark penny, go ahead and take a closer look. You might be holding a literal gold mine in your hands. And if you don't have one yet, don't worry. There are plenty of other rare coins out there, and trust me, I've got you covered with all the tips and tricks you need to find them. And hey, if you enjoyed this little treasure hunt, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips on coins worth money. I've got a ton of fun, valuable coin stories to share, and who knows, your next coin might be worth a lot more than you think. Until next time, happy hunting, and remember, you never know what you've got in your pocket. Hey, coin lovers! Did you know that there's a penny out there that's worth more than most people's car? Yep, you heard me right. We're talking about the 2016 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and it could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. I know, it sounds crazy, right? But stick around, because we're about to dive into the fascinating world of this little coin and why it's fetching such a high price. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be checking your penny jar, your couch cushions, and maybe even your grandma's old coin collection for this gem. Now, let's get into it. The 2016 no mint mark penny isn't your typical coin. Most of the time, when you think about valuable pennies, you think of old ones, like those from the 1900s, or ones with rare mint errors. But this 2016 penny? It's a little different, and that's why it's causing such a stir in the numismatic world. So, what makes this 2016 penny so special? Well, here's the deal: the US Mint typically stamps a mint mark on coins to tell you where they were made. You've got your D for Denver, your P for Philadelphia, and your S for San Francisco. But in 2016, a small batch of pennies came out with no mint mark at all. That's right, no mint mark. And while it might sound like a mistake, in the world of coin collecting, this is a big deal. In fact, that tiny detail is what's helping push the value of this coin to over $1 million. And now, I know what you're probably thinking, but wait, it's just a penny. How could it be worth so much? Well, let me tell you a little secret. It's all about rarity and demand. You see, not every 2016 penny is without a mint mark, and that's exactly what makes it so valuable. These pennies are considered error coins, and in the coin collecting world, errors are like finding a hidden treasure. The more rare and unique the error, the higher the price tag, but hold on, let me tell you a story from my own life. A few years ago, I found a 1960-something penny at the bottom of my change jar. I thought, hey, this is just a regular penny, and I tossed it into my nothing special pile. I didn't think much of it until a friend mentioned that there was a rare 1960 penny with a special error. I had to go back through my pile, and guess what? Yep, I had missed out on a valuable coin. Don't make the same mistake I did. You never know what could be hiding in your pocket change, so, back to the 2016 no mint mark penny. If you happen to find one, it's important to get it verified by a professional. You can take it to a coin dealer or even send it off to a grading service to make sure it's authentic. And let me tell you, if it's genuine, it could be worth a small fortune. You might even be able to retire early and live off your newfound penny collection. Okay, maybe not retire, but you get the idea. Alright, so here's the deal. The 2016 no mint mark penny could be your ticket to a little extra cash. So, next time you're digging through your change, or maybe your grandma's coin jar, make sure you're keeping an eye out for this beauty. But hey, even if you don't find one, remember that there are plenty of other valuable coins out there just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I'll be sharing more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth a lot of money. Trust me, you won't want to miss out. Who knows, maybe one day, we'll both be talking about how we sold our $1,000,000 pennies. Hey there, coin lovers! Welcome back to the channel. Imagine this, you're going through your spare change jar, just casually looking for a penny to use for a vending machine snack, and then boom, you find a coin worth over $1.3 million. Sounds like a dream, right? But for some lucky folks, it's reality. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating pennies you'll ever come across, the 1968 D mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, before you rush to check your couch cushions or your piggy bank, let's talk about why this specific penny is so valuable and how you could potentially cash in on this hidden treasure. First things first, what makes the 1968 D penny so special? Well, it all boils down to a little thing called rarity. While most pennies from 1968 are worth a measly 1 cent, the 1968 D penny is a different breed. It was minted at the Denver Mint, hence the D mint mark, and there's something about how this penny was produced that makes it highly sought after by collectors. Now, you might be thinking, is it just any random 1968 D penny that's worth millions? Unfortunately, not quite. To be worth anywhere near that price tag, the penny has to be in mint condition, meaning it's practically flawless, with no signs of wear and tear. We're talking about a coin that looks like it just came out of the mint yesterday, even though it's been sitting in circulation for decades. And while the 1968 D penny might not be rare in terms of how many were made, there were millions of these produced. The condition and grade of the coin can make it a goldmine for collectors. The ones that are most valuable are those with a unique double die error, where the design appears to be imprinted twice on the coin, one of those happy accidents that coin collectors love to find. You might wonder, how do I know if my 1968 D penny is worth a small fortune? Good question. Most people wouldn't be able to tell just by glancing at it, but don't worry. If you think you might have a gem, it's time to get it graded by a professional. You can't just take your word for it, get a second opinion from the experts who know how to spot a coin's true value. Speaking of finding hidden treasures, let me tell you a little story. I was once going through some old family coins, nothing special, just a bunch of random change from years gone by. I was half watching TV, half sorting through the pennies, and I found a 1960-something penny. I thought, meh, it's probably worth a few cents, maybe. But then, I took a closer look. The details seemed sharper than usual, the edges looked just a tad too clean, and the design was strikingly crisp. It was a 1960s penny, and sure enough, I had stumbled across one with a small minting error. While it wasn't anywhere near as valuable as a 1968 D penny, it made me realize how easy it is to overlook something amazing, even when you're just casually digging through some change. So trust me, don't underestimate that old jar of pennies sitting in your drawer. Now, I know what you're thinking. What are the odds of me finding a 1968 D penny worth $1.3 million? Well, not every day is going to be a big win, but you never know. If you're out there hunting for coins, the 1968 D penny is definitely worth a look. You've got to pay attention to those small details, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person to hit the jackpot. Before you go on a full-blown penny hunt, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm here to help you find more coins worth money, and trust me, there's a lot of them out there. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of the coin hunting tips and strategies I share. And hey, while you're at it, leave a comment below if you've ever found a coin you thought was worth a fortune, or if you've got a crazy coin hunting story of your own. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can stay updated on all the tips and tricks to find coins worth money. You could be one lucky coin flip away from your own treasure. Hey there, coin lovers! You've probably heard the saying, don't judge a coin by its cover, right? Well, it couldn't be truer when it comes to the 1973 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard me right. A simple penny, from 1973, with the D-Mint mark, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, you didn't mishear that. So, grab your magnifying glass, or just your phone, I'm not judging, and let's dive into why this tiny piece of copper could make you a fortune now. Before you go rummaging through your old coin jars, let's get one thing straight, not every 1973 D penny is worth a small fortune. But here's the deal, if you've got one of these rare gems that just so happens to be in pristine condition, you could be holding on to something pretty special. We're talking about a coin with a market value of up to $1.4 million. Talk about a penny saved is a penny earned moment, right? So, what makes this little guy so valuable? It all comes down to the combination of rarity and condition. In fact, a coin in mint state, meaning it looks like it was just minted yesterday, could fetch that eye-popping amount. But let's be honest, the odds of finding one in that kind of condition are slimmer than my chances of winning a lottery. But hey, someone has to get lucky, right? Let me tell you a quick personal story to put things into perspective. A few years ago, I was cleaning out an old drawer when I stumbled upon a small jar of coins. You know, the kind you collect over the years when you're too lazy to roll them up and take them to the bank. I figured they were just random pennies, nickels, and dimes. But then, I found a 1968 penny. I was like, huh, cool. I put it aside, not thinking much of it. Fast forward a few months, and I'm watching a coin auction on YouTube, yep, that's a thing, and someone was talking about a rare 1968 penny worth a small fortune. I had a mini freakout moment and ran to check mine. Spoiler alert, mine wasn't worth a fortune, but the point is, sometimes that one rare find is hiding in your junk drawer. And who knows, that 1973 D penny could be your ticket to the big leagues. Now, there are a few things to look for if you think you found one of these million-dollar beauties. First, check the mint mark on the coin. It should be right under the year, with a small d for Denver. Then, the condition, this is where things get tricky. If it's worn out or scratched up, it won't be bringing in the big bucks. You want a coin that looks nearly perfect, sharp details, no damage, and very little wear. And for the real enthusiasts out there, any unusual errors or die cracks can bump the price up even more. So, if you see something strange, hold on to it and get it checked out. Alright, so if you're now staring at your pennies with new hope in your eyes, don't rush off to the bank just yet. Make sure to do your research, check that mint mark, and keep those pennies in good shape. Because, let's face it, you never know, your next find could be worth a lot more than a cup of coffee. And hey, if you love this kind of info, I've got a whole vault of tips and tricks on coins worth money, and I'll be sharing more. So, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to tap the notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more coin tips and stories. Hey, what's up, coin collectors? Welcome back to the channel. Now, you know I've been talking a lot about those rare coins that can be worth more than your car, your house, and maybe even your vacation in a tropical paradise. But today, I'm about to drop a truth bomb on you. You've probably got a coin sitting around right now that's worth a whole lot of money, and no, I'm not talking about the spare change that's been hiding in your couch cushions. Today, we're talking about the 2020 D-Mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yup, you heard that right, folks, a penny worth $1.60 million. I know, you're probably thinking, a penny? Seriously? Stick around because I've got some jaw-dropping info that'll make you start checking your pockets, and that change jar you've been ignoring. Alright, let's break this down. You've got a 2020 D-Mint mark penny. At first glance, it might look like your average penny, right? It's got Lincoln's face on it, just like the pennies you probably throw around like confetti at a New Year's party. But here's where things get juicy. This penny, if it's the right one, could be worth up to $1.60 million. How in the world does that happen? Well, here's the scoop. There are some seriously rare versions of the 2020 D penny, and they're valuable because of a little thing we call errors. Yeah, these little mistakes in the minting process can turn a run-of-the-mill coin into a collector's dream. In this case, there was a rare batch of 2020 D pennies that were released with a unique, almost flawless finish and some really cool details. The mint didn't intend for them to stand out, but when the right ones hit the market, collectors noticed and the rest was history. It's like this one time when I bought a second-hand jacket from a thrift store. It was a regular old jacket, nothing special, right? I wore it for months until one day, a friend of mine pointed out that it was actually a vintage designer piece from the 90s. I had been walking around looking like I just bought it off the clearance rack, and meanwhile, it was worth a few $100. Same vibe with these pennies, folks. You could be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it. What makes the 2020 D penny so special, aside from the fact that it's now worth more than most of our cars? Well, these pennies stand out because they're super clean, with the kind of fine details you'd expect from a rare coin. The minting errors are subtle but noticeable, and they make these coins highly sought after by collectors. If you manage to get your hands on one in mint condition, you could find yourself with a hefty chunk of change in your pocket. But before you rush to dig through every coin you've ever touched, let me clarify, not every 2020 D penny is going to be worth a fortune. It's like hunting for treasure, you gotta know what you're looking for. Look for imperfections or distinct characteristics, like the special finish or minting anomalies, and if you're not sure, it never hurts to consult with a professional grader. So there you have it, the 2020 D Lincoln penny. Who knew a simple penny, one that you probably found under your couch cushions, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million, right? This just goes to show that you never know where the next big score could come from. It could be in your pocket right now, in that change jar, or at the bottom of your purse, before you go out and start hoarding every penny you see. Trust me, you're gonna get some strange looks at the grocery store. Make sure to do your research and check out those rarities. And hey, if you want to keep learning about coins worth big bucks and how you can spot them, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm always dropping tips, tricks, and stories to help you make your coin collection the best it can be. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your change, and let me know in the comments if you find a treasure. Hey there, coin hunters. Imagine this, you're sifting through your pocket change, looking for quarters to feed a parking meter, and bam! You spot a penny. A regular OL penny. Or so you think. What if I told you that little copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million? Yep, you heard that right, a single 2017 D Abraham Lincoln penny could change your life forever. Stick around, because today, I'm breaking down how this coin became a millionaire maker, and you'll want to know how to spot one for yourself. And now, let's get into the juicy details. The 2017 D penny might look like any other penny. Abraham Lincoln's profile, the D mint mark, and the usual copper-plated finish. But the devil is in the details, my friends. What makes this coin so special is a rare minting error that collectors are willing to pay big bucks to own. This isn't just any ordinary error, it's one of those blink and you miss it mistakes. The coin has a doubled die error on the obverse side. If you look closely, certain features, like the date or the "In God We Trust" motto, appear slightly doubled. It's subtle, but for seasoned collectors, it's like spotting a unicorn in a field of horses. And now, here's the crazy part. I learned about this coin the hard way. Let me tell you a quick story. One day, I was cleaning out my car, because who doesn't have a small fortune in loose change rolling around in their cup holders? I came across a shiny 2017 D penny and thought, cool, it's in great condition. But did I check it for errors? Nope. I spent it on a candy bar. A month later, I found out a similar penny sold at auction for, you guessed it, $1.7 million. Talk about a bittersweet moment. The candy bar wasn't even that good, so how can you avoid my mistake? First, grab a magnifying glass or use your phone's camera to zoom in on the coin. Inspect the date, the mint mark, and the lettering for any signs of doubling. Next, check the coin's condition. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition are far more valuable. Finally, if you think you've struck gold, well, copper, consult a professional coin grader to verify its authenticity. Alright, folks, now it's your turn to go treasure hunting. Who knows? That dusty jar of coins on your kitchen counter could hold the key to your financial freedom. So, next time you see a 2017 D penny, take a closer look. You might just be staring at $1.70 million. And before you dash off to dig through your spare change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm here to help you uncover hidden gems in your pocket change, share tips on building your collection, and, hey, maybe even save you from spending a fortune on a candy bar like I did. Hi there, treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions looking for spare change to grab a soda, and bam! You find a penny worth $1.3 million. Yep, you heard that right, a penny that could buy you a mansion, a yacht, or, okay, at least a whole lot of tacos. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about the coins hiding in your pocket that could change your life. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1982 D Lincoln penny, a small copper beauty that packs a $1 million punch. If you've ever tossed pennies aside thinking they're worthless, stick around because this story might just make you a millionaire, alright? So let's break it down. Why on earth would anyone pay $1.3 million for a penny? Well, the 1982 D Lincoln penny is no ordinary coin. It's like the Beyoncé of pennies, rare, flawless, and absolutely iconic. Here's the scoop. In 1982, the US Mint made a big change. They switched from using mostly copper to zinc for pennies because copper prices were skyrocketing. So, pennies minted that year came in two versions, copper and zinc. The 1982 D penny we're talking about is one of the few copper pennies from the Denver Mint that slipped through the cracks when they were supposed to switch to zinc. Think of it as a minting mistake that turned into a $1 million miracle, but here's the catch: it's not just about being copper. To hit that $1.3 million price tag, this penny needs to be in pristine condition, like it's never even seen a vending machine. One of these gems was auctioned for $1.3 million because of its rarity and flawless appearance. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found a jar of coins in my grandma's attic. I thought, this is it, I'm retiring early. I spent hours inspecting each coin under a magnifying glass, pretending to be Indiana Jones on a treasure hunt. Did I find a rare penny? Nope. But I did learn that patience is not my strong suit, so, what's the moral of the story? Check your change, people. That jar of coins in your closet or the pennies rattling around in your car could be your ticket to a life-changing payday. Who knows? The next time you're about to pay with a penny, it might just be a $1.3 million mistake you're handing over. If you enjoyed this little treasure hunt, smash that subscribe button and join our growing community of coin enthusiasts. I'll be back with more stories, tips, and tricks to help you find hidden gems in your pocket change. And hey, don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow penny pinchers. Who knows, you might just help someone discover their $1 million penny. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and remember, every penny counts. Literally. See you in the next video. Hey there, coin collectors and curious folks alike. Have you ever thought you were holding onto a penny, only to find out it could be worth more than your car? Sounds crazy, right? Well, today I'm going to tell you about a penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. That's right, $1.8 million. So, grab your magnifying glass, or just a regular one, no need to be Sherlock Holmes, because we're diving into the world of the 2017 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Alright, let's break it down. The 2017 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny might look like just another copper coin hanging out in your pocket change. But trust me, this little guy is like the hidden gem at the bottom of a treasure chest. So, what makes this penny worth so much? Well, it's all about a rare, special error that slipped through the minting process, and it's not the kind of mistake you'd expect. No. This is the kind of error that gets collectors drooling and makes your penny potentially worth a small fortune. Now, let me take you back to a time when I first heard about this coin. I remember chatting with a friend of mine who's deep into the world of coin collecting. He casually mentions the 2017 D penny, and I laughed. I thought, what? A penny? Worth $1 million? I mean, come on, we're talking about the same little copper disc that people are always throwing around in fountain pools, right? But then, as I started digging into it, my perspective completely changed. Turns out, the 2017 D-Mint Mark penny was issued in Denver, and it's got a tiny but mighty error that makes it stand out in a big way. This coin isn't like the usual run-of-the-mill pennies you'll find in your spare change. If you've got one, it's probably got some sort of unique marking or flaw that was never caught at the mint. People who collect rare coins call these error coins, and when it comes to these little treasures, rarity equals value. Imagine this: you find a coin like this one tucked away in your wallet, you flip it over, and bam! You realize you're holding something that's worth $1.8 million. I mean, I'd probably do a double take and then check my bank account, just to be sure. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. 1 minute, you're holding onto pocket change, and the next, you could be looking at a financial windfall. So, what exactly are you looking for if you think you have one of these $1 million pennies? First off, make sure it's a 2017 D-Mint Mark. Don't go running off with any random penny from your jar that says 2017 on it. That's not going to cut it. You need the one minted in Denver, and it should have an error. You know, something that makes it look a bit different than what you see in most other pennies. Sometimes the errors are super small, but they're enough to make the coin incredibly valuable. Here's the kicker, though: not every 2017 D penny with a small mistake is worth millions. The really valuable ones are super rare. So, if you're lucky enough to find one, congratulations. You've got yourself a little gold mine, or should I say copper mine. Speaking of luck, I've actually had a pretty funny experience with a lucky penny of my own. A while ago, I found what I thought was a rare penny in my change. It was shiny, almost too perfect. I immediately got excited, thinking I might have stumbled upon a valuable coin. Turns out, it was just a shiny new penny. A little embarrassing, but hey, at least I didn't waste a whole lot of time on it. The moral of the story: always double check your coins, because the one that might look the most boring could end up being the most valuable. So, if you're sitting on a 2017 D-Mint Mark penny, take a closer look before you toss it into a jar. You might just be holding onto something that's worth more than you think. And hey, even if you don't find $1 million coin, collecting pennies can be a fun and rewarding hobby. If you enjoyed learning about rare coins like the 2017 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more tips, tricks, and stories on coins that are worth way more than their face value. Trust me, you won't want to miss it, because you never know when you'll come across your next big find. Alright, folks, happy hunting, and remember, the next time you find a penny, it could be your ticket to a small fortune. Catch you in the next video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave a comment below with any cool coins you found. You never know, you could be sitting on a gold mine, or should I say, a copper mine. Hey, you. Yeah, you, staring at that pile of pennies in your couch cushions, or maybe sitting in your jar of loose change. I bet you didn't know that one of those pennies could actually be worth a small fortune, like $1.1 million worth. No kidding. Today, we're diving into the 1986 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that is rarer than finding a parking spot at the mall on Christmas Eve. Stick around, because this penny could change your life, or at least make you a lot more aware of what you're tossing around. So, what's the deal with the 1986 no-mint Mark penny? Well, first things first, most pennies from this year are worth, 1 cent. Shocking, I know. But then, we get into the special ones, the ones with a twist, the hidden gems, like the 1986 penny with no mint mark. That little missing mint mark transforms this otherwise ordinary coin into a collectible sensation. But here's the kicker: in a world filled with billions of pennies, this particular one stands out because it's really rare. Mint marks are usually stamped onto coins to show where they were made, whether it's Denver, Philadelphia, or San Francisco, but this 1986 penny, produced in Philadelphia, doesn't have one. For collectors, that makes it pretty much a unicorn in a sea of horses. Now, let me tell you, when I first heard about this, I was like, no mint mark, big deal. But then I learned about the value, and let me just say, it was a game changer. It's got that sweet spot where rarity meets historical appeal. I mean, Abraham Lincoln, the man who led the country through some of its most challenging times, stamped onto a coin that could be worth a cool $1.1 million? Yeah, that makes it sound a little less like pocket change and more like pocket treasure, right? And here's the fun part: you don't have to be a numismatist, that's a fancy word for coin expert, by the way, to spot one. Sure, it's a long shot to find one just lying around, but here's the thing. If you're really paying attention to your pocket change, or checking out the loose pennies at yard sales, you just might get lucky. Speaking of luck, it reminds me of the time I found an old coin in a coin jar I inherited from my grandma. I thought it was just some dusty old penny, nothing special. Turns out, it was a rare 1943 copper penny, worth a few $1,000s, by the way. At the time, I didn't even know that pennies could be worth anything beyond their face value. My lesson here? Don't just throw coins aside, do a quick check, especially with pennies, because they might just have a hidden value that could make your day. Now, back to the 1986 penny. You may be wondering, how in the world does a coin with no mint mark get to be so valuable? Well, it comes down to the scarcity factor. It's like finding a rare autograph at a yard sale. You don't expect it, but when it happens, it's a treasure. This penny slipped through the cracks and ended up with collectors wanting it more than the latest smartphone. The rarer, the better. People have been known to pay serious money for these bad boys, sometimes pushing the value to as high as $1.1 million. Can you imagine? That's like winning the lottery, but with a penny instead of a ticket. So, here's the bottom line: always, always, always check your pennies. That seemingly mundane pile of pocket change might just have a golden nugget hiding in it, waiting to make you a small fortune. Keep your eyes peeled for the 1986 no mint mark penny, and if you find one, well, you could be sitting on $1.1 million. But remember, even if you don't find a rare penny, there's always more to learn and more coins to discover. I'll be right here sharing more tips on which coins could be worth a ton of money. Just hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on the next big coin find. And hey, if you found this video useful, smash that like button too. After all, who wouldn't want to know how to turn their change into serious cash? Thanks for watching, and keep on coin hunting. See you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money. You never know what treasure is hiding in your pocket. Hey, coin collectors and curious minds. Have you ever dug through your pocket change and thought, what if I just found a coin worth $1 million? Well, guess what? Sometimes, you actually can find coins like that. Today, we're talking about a penny, yes, a humble, everyday penny, the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and this little guy could be worth up to $1.2 million. Yep, you heard me right, million with an M. Now, before you start racing to check every 1998 penny you can find in your coin jar, let's dive into why this specific penny is causing such a buzz in the coin world, and more importantly, why it's worth more than your grandma's collection of Beanie Babies. Not that I'm knocking those, of course. Alright, so what's the deal with this 1998 no mint mark penny? Most of us are familiar with the whole mint mark thing. You know, the little D for Denver or S for San Francisco on most pennies. But this penny? Nada. Zilch. No mint mark at all. And that's where the magic happens. In 1998, the US Mint was running its usual coin production lines, but there was an accidental slip-up. The mint didn't stamp some pennies with the usual mint mark, and instead of being dismissed as a simple error, these no mint mark pennies became a super rare, collectible find. If you manage to find one of these, you're holding a coin that can fetch up to $1.2 million in the right condition. Now, before you get too excited and start pulling out all your 1998 pennies from your piggy bank, let me tell you, these pennies need to be in perfect condition to reach that value. We're talking about pennies with little to no wear, ideally graded as MS65 or higher by a reputable grading service. That means no dents, no scratches, and no traces of someone using it as a make-do screwdriver. If your penny is just sitting around collecting dust, it might be worth a few bucks, but not quite the $1 million jackpot you're dreaming of. But hold on, let me give you a little story from my own coin hunting days. A few years ago, I was going through a box of old change I found in my closet, a box that I'm pretty sure my mom had stuffed there back in the 90s. I came across a 1998 penny and thought, hey, maybe I struck gold. I googled it, got my hopes up, and realized it had a mint mark. Yep, I just spent 10 minutes overanalyzing a penny that was totally not worth the time I spent looking at it. Facepalm moment, but that experience taught me a lot about the importance of learning about rare coins. You see, while my 1998 penny wasn't special, the thrill of the hunt is what keeps this coin collecting hobby so fun. And who knows? Maybe next time I'll find one of these elusive no mint mark 1998 pennies. Maybe even you will be the lucky one. So, there you have it, the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny, potentially worth $1.2 million. If you're lucky enough to find one in excellent condition, you could have a small fortune in your hands. But like anything valuable, it's all about patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. If you've enjoyed hearing about this rare coin and want more tips on how to spot coins that could make you rich, or at least give you a cool hobby, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got more stories, tips, and coin secrets coming your way. And hey, maybe the next video will help you uncover the coin that changes everything. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep looking through that change, because you never know, your next penny might be worth $1 million. Or, at least worth something a bit more than a trip to the vending machine. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another coin tip or valuable find. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to cash in on a coin worth a fortune. Hey, fellow coin lovers! Do you ever wonder if you have a small fortune just sitting in your pocket, or maybe hidden in your coin jar? Well, today we're talking about a coin that could be worth $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.3 million. And no, it's not some gold doubloon from the 1800s or a treasure found in a sunken pirate ship. We're talking about the 2017 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, you're probably thinking, how in the world could a penny be worth that much? Well, hold on tight because I've got a story to share that'll blow your mind. Stick with me and let's dive into this one. First, let's take a look at what makes this penny so special. It's not just any old penny. We're talking about the 2017 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny, and the reason it could fetch $1.3 million is because of a small but mighty error. See, most people think pennies are worth just 1 cent. But, oh boy, if you happen to have one of these bad boys with a rare error, you're looking at something potentially much more valuable. The 2017 D penny is known for having a rare die crack that runs through Lincoln's shoulder. It's subtle, but if you know what you're looking for, you could be holding the equivalent of finding a diamond in a coal mine. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. How in the world do I find one of these? Is it like a needle in a haystack? Not quite, but it's still pretty rare. Let me share a little personal experience. A while back, I was sorting through my change jar, the one that's full of old pennies, nickels, dimes, basically a little coin ecosystem. As I was flipping through the pennies, I found something that looked a bit off. At first, I thought, just another dirty penny, but after a quick look, I realized I might have stumbled on something special. Long story short, it wasn't a 2017 D penny with a die crack, but I did end up finding a 1969 S penny worth quite a bit. Not $1.3 million, but a win nonetheless. Moral of the story? It pays to pay attention to those pennies, people. So, what exactly does a 2017 D Abraham Lincoln penny with the die crack look like? It's important to note that the error isn't always visible at first glance. You need to look closely at Lincoln's shoulder. If you see a crack that isn't supposed to be there, you might just have $1 million penny in your hand, but don't start going through your coin jar in a frenzy yet. While it's true that one of these pennies has sold for $1.3 million at auction, it doesn't mean that every 2017 D penny is worth that much. Condition is key, my friends. The more pristine the penny, the higher its value. And let's face it, most of us have a pocket full of pennies that are scratched, worn out, or have been through the wash a few too many times. If you think you found a 2017 D penny with an error, make sure to check its condition. If it's in good shape and has the die crack, you might have something that's worth a serious amount of cash. But even if you don't worry, because there are plenty of other valuable coins to keep an eye out for, and I'll be sharing those too, so you won't miss any of the action. Alright, folks, now you know the secret behind the 2017 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.3 million if you get lucky with that die crack error. You might not have it sitting in your wallet right now, but keep your eyes peeled. And hey, even if you don't find $1 million penny, it's always fun to hunt for rare coins, right? It's like a treasure hunt with every trip to the grocery store. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips, strategies, and stories about coins worth big money, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more secrets up my sleeve, and trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next one. And hey, who knows, the next coin you find could be worth a fortune. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep this coin journey going. Catch you in the next video, coin collectors. Hey there, coin lovers. Have you ever found a penny lying around and thought, it's just a penny, only to realize it might just be worth a small fortune? Yeah, I've been there too. But what if I told you that one tiny, seemingly insignificant penny could be worth $1.4 million? I'm talking about the 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be looking at every penny you find in your couch cushions a little differently. Let's dive in. So, what's so special about the 1991 no-mint mark penny? Well, if you're a regular at your local coin shop or browsing online, you might have already heard the buzz about this bad boy. Here's the deal: in 1991, most of the pennies made by the US Mint came with a mint mark, either D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But every now and then, the mint messes up, and when they do, well, we lucky few get a mint error like the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And now, let's break it down for you. This error happened when a small batch of these pennies was struck with no mint mark at all. Typically, you'd find a tiny letter on the coin to tell you where it was made, but in this case? Nothing. Just a simple, naked penny. And to make things even more interesting, only a handful of these were produced. So, they're rare. And I mean really rare. It's the kind of rare that makes you look at your change jar like it's an untapped treasure chest. If you're wondering, how do I know if I have one? Well, it's simple. Check your 1991 pennies for the mint mark. If there's nothing there, congratulations. You might just be sitting on a gold mine. Or, should I say, a copper mine? I crack myself up now. I know what you're thinking, okay, but why is it worth $1.4 million? Well, let me hit you with some quick math. Because this penny has no mint mark, it's considered a rare error coin, and those types of coins can command astronomical prices, especially when they're in good condition. Some of these error pennies have been sold for well over $1 million at auction. That's right, $1.4 million. And no, that's not a typo. I wish I had found one of these. The closest I've come is finding an old penny in a parking lot once, but let's not talk about that. I'll save that embarrassing story for another time. So, if you have a 1991 penny with no mint mark, you're in pretty exclusive company. Not only is it rare, but it's valuable. It's the kind of coin that makes numismatists, that's coin collectors, by the way, don't feel bad if you didn't know that term, lose their minds. I mean, imagine being able to walk into a coin shop with a single penny worth $1 million. That is some serious street cred. But hey, before you start scanning your change jar or the floor of your car for that elusive penny, here's a quick heads up: condition matters. A penny that's been banged around in your pocket for 30 years probably won't fetch much, but one that's in mint condition, pun intended, that's the jackpot. Think of it like the difference between finding a stale donut and a fresh, warm one at the bakery. You want the good stuff. Alright, folks, now you know about the 1991 no mint mark penny and why it could be worth $1.4 million. No big deal, right? If you're like me, you're probably double checking your pockets right now, hoping to strike gold. Or copper. Who's counting? But before you run off and start hunting for that rare penny, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips on coins worth money. Because if you think the 1991 no mint mark penny is impressive, just wait till you see what other rare finds are out there. I've got a ton of coin collecting strategies, fun stories, and yes, more tips on how to turn pocket change into a serious collection. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. So, happy hunting, and I'll see you next time, hopefully with a few more $1 million coins to talk about. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a video about coins that could make you rich. And hey, if you have a 1991 no mint mark penny, drop a comment below and let me know, maybe you're the next coin millionaire. Good luck, and keep on collecting. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Have you ever found a coin lying around that made you think, could this be worth a fortune? Well, buckle up, because today, I'm talking about a coin that's been surprising people across the country, the 2008 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, if you're thinking, 2008? How could a penny from just 16 years ago be worth anything special? You're not alone. But trust me, this one's got a value that'll make your jaw drop. This little copper disc could fetch up to $1.5 million on a good day. Yeah, you heard that right, 2008, not 1808, 2008. Stick with me because we're about to dive deep into why this coin is so valuable, how to spot it, and why you might want to check your pocket change before heading to the vending machine. Alright, so let's get down to it. The 2008 no mint mark penny is a prime example of a mystery coin that has captivated collectors and treasure hunters. You see, most pennies have a mint mark, a small letter, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco, that tells you where the coin was made. But in 2008, something odd happened. Some pennies were produced in Philadelphia, but they didn't have the usual P mint mark. This was a rare production error. A few of these pennies from the Philadelphia Mint ended up without a mint mark, which instantly caught the eyes of collectors when they realized, hey, this isn't supposed to happen. Now, you might wonder, why does this one small detail make a penny worth a small fortune? Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. The fact that these pennies are missing their mint mark makes them incredibly hard to find, which means they're super valuable to those in the know. Collectors love finding these rare anomalies, and the 2008 no mint mark penny checks all the right boxes for a high-value coin. And here's where it gets crazy. Despite the fact that 2008 isn't exactly ancient history, the price for these pennies has skyrocketed. We're talking $1.5 million, depending on the condition of the coin. Yes, that's a lot of zeros. You might be thinking, how do I even know if I've got one of these magical pennies? Well, it's simple. You just need to check for that elusive missing mint mark. If you have a 2008 penny with no mint mark and it's in good condition, then it could be sitting on a fortune. Now, I gotta admit, I had a moment myself when I started digging through my change jar. I was convinced I was sitting on a gold mine. I pulled out what looked like a pretty average penny. I rubbed it for good luck, convinced this was going to be the one. It wasn't the 2008 no mint mark penny. It wasn't even an unusual year. Just a regular old coin that would barely get me a sip of soda. But hey, that didn't stop me from thinking I was about to retire off that one penny. So, I get the excitement. We all think we've struck it rich when we find something rare. And for those of you out there with the 2008 no mint mark penny, you really have struck it rich. So, what should you do now? Start digging through your change, checking those pennies, and maybe even considering giving your local coin dealer a visit. If you find that 2008 no mint mark penny, you could be holding onto a small fortune. If you're as hooked on finding hidden gems in your pocket change as I am, you won't want to miss out on more tips, tricks, and coin spotting strategies. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the latest info on coins worth serious money. Trust me, you'll thank me later when you discover a hidden treasure in your spare change. Hey, coin lovers! Picture this, you're digging through your old coin jar. Maybe you've got a pile of pennies from your grandma's house, or perhaps you're just about to toss a bunch of spare change in the jar when suddenly, bam, you find a penny that could be worth, drumroll, $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. It's not a typo, not a wishful thinking. We're talking about the 1985 D mint mark Lincoln penny. Stick around, because I'm about to tell you everything you need to know about this little piece of history that could make you a millionaire. Now, let's be real here. When most people think about pennies, they think of those tiny, copper-colored discs that clutter up your pockets or get tossed into that junk drawer. But hold up. There's one penny from 1985, with a D mint mark, that's doing its best impression of a lottery ticket. You might be thinking, wait, how is a penny from 1985 worth $1.6 million? And if you're anything like me, you probably want to take a moment and double-check the math, right? So let's break this down. The 1985 D mint mark penny is rare, and I mean really rare. Most of the 1985 pennies made it out of the mint just fine, but there's a small batch of them that are incredibly valuable. How small, you ask? Well, this is where the magic happens. Some of these pennies were struck with a unique die error. It's a mistake made during the production process, and those mistakes are exactly what coin collectors look for. You see, when something's rare and doesn't quite look like all the other ones, collectors get that sparkle in their eye and a serious interest in adding it to their collection. Now, I know what you're thinking. Do I really have a 1985 D penny worth $1.6 million sitting around? Probably not, but it's always worth checking. I remember a few years ago when I was casually going through a jar of pennies that had been collecting dust in my basement. I was just mindlessly sorting them when I came across a 1969 penny, and I thought, could this be worth anything? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But hey, it felt like $1 million for about 10 seconds, so let's talk numbers for a second. While the majority of 1985 pennies might still be worth their face value of 1 cent, the rare ones with mint errors can go for a pretty penny, pun absolutely intended. In fact, the 1985 D penny can be sold for up to $1.6 million. That's a lot of zeros. It's like finding a hidden treasure in your change jar. Just think, if you find one of these rare pennies, you could pay off some bills, buy a new car, or even take that dream vacation to Hawaii you've been putting off for years. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The trick to finding a valuable coin like this isn't just about luck, it's about knowing what to look for. Inspect the details of the penny closely. Pay attention to things like die cracks, double die errors, and anything else that doesn't look quite like the pennies you see in your pocket change. You might not hit the jackpot every time, but hey, it's fun to dream, right? Alright, folks, here's where we wrap this up. Finding a 1985 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny that's worth $1.6 million is definitely a long shot, but it's not impossible. With a little knowledge, a keen eye, and some luck, you could find a hidden gem in your change jar. So, next time you're casually flipping through your pennies, remember, it's not just a coin, it's a potential goldmine. And hey, if you enjoyed learning about rare coins and how to spot their value, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm always dropping new tips, tricks, and coin strategies that'll help you turn those little copper discs into something much more valuable. I'm here for all the coin nerds, the dreamers, and the people who want to get rich one penny at a time. Catch you in the next one, where we'll dive into more coins that could make you rich. Because you never know, the next coin you check could be worth a fortune. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. What if I told you that a small, seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a fortune? Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the 1961 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that's worth a whopping $1.7 million. Yep, you heard that right, $1.7 million. And if you've ever scrolled through your change jar looking for a lucky find, stick around because this might just change the way you look at pennies forever. So, grab your magnifying glass, your lucky coin detecting hat, because we all need one of those, right? And let's get started. Alright, before you start checking your wallet for a 1961 D penny, let's break it down. The 1961 D Lincoln penny isn't just any old coin. It's one of those, hey, I have that in my collection, moments. But, here's the kicker, it's not just the penny that's special, it's the specific condition of the penny, along with its mint mark and rarity. First, let's talk about what gives this coin its value. The 1961 D penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark, and like most pennies, it features the iconic Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. So far, nothing too wild, right? But here's where the magic happens. There are rare versions of this penny, some in uncirculated condition, that have an insanely high market value. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I've got pennies that are older than my grandma's recipe box. And, to be honest, me too. A couple of months ago, I found a jar full of old pennies, mostly from the 60s, and I thought I had hit the jackpot. Turns out, most of them were pretty run-of-the-mill, nothing special. But here's the thing, when you're talking about the 1961 D penny, if it's in great condition, say, uncirculated and shiny, it can fetch serious cash. We're talking $1.7 million if you're lucky enough to have the right one. So, why is this penny worth so much? Well, there are a couple of reasons. First, the coin is rare in uncirculated condition. Second, collectors go wild over the condition of the coin. If it's got a perfect, glossy shine and no visible wear, it can make it to auction for a pretty penny, no pun intended. And let's not forget the rarity factor. Mint errors and scarce production runs can seriously bump up the price. Let me give you an example. I once bought a random, unassuming penny at a coin show for a couple of bucks. I know, rookie mistake. After a quick look through the catalog, I realized I had paid a premium for a rare mint error, and you better believe that penny ended up being worth a couple $100, even though I thought it was just a plain old penny. But a $1.7 million penny? That's a whole other level of coin collecting dreams. Now, the tricky part, if you have a 1961 D penny that's not in mint condition or it's been through the wash a few too many times, don't be too disappointed. Most of us are lucky to find a penny worth a few cents in change, let alone millions. But hey, keep hunting through your coin jar or the couch cushions, stranger things have happened. So, what do you do now? First, check your collection, because if you've got a 1961 D penny in perfect condition, you might just want to get it appraised by a professional. You never know, you could be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. And if you're serious about finding valuable coins, keep your eyes peeled for rare mint marks, condition, and any errors that might make that penny worth more than your lunch money. Before you run off to search your change jar, don't forget to thank me when you find one. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss more tips on coin strategies and finding hidden treasures. I'll be back soon with more valuable coin insights, and who knows, you might find your next $1 million penny by following along. Thanks for watching, and keep those eyes sharp. You might just find a penny that's worth its weight in gold, or at least, in $1.70 million. If you enjoyed today's treasure hunt, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you never miss a chance to learn more about coins worth big bucks. And if you've got your own coin hunting story, drop it in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going about your best finds. Who knows, maybe you've got the next big one sitting around. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through an old jar of pennies, maybe one your grandparents left behind, and bam! You come across a coin that looks a little different. Could it be worth $1 million? Yes, you heard that right, a penny, worth $1 million. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of the 1988 Mint Mark Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, and how you just might have one sitting in your couch cushions right now. So, grab your coffee, your jar of change, and let's get started. Alright, let's set the stage. The 1988 Lincoln penny doesn't look all that special at first glance. It's got good old Abe on the front, as always, and the classic Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's the kicker: certain pennies from 1988, minted in Denver, have a little something extra that collectors are absolutely losing their minds over. And now, what makes this particular penny worth a cool $1 million? It's all about the minting process. You see, the US Mint occasionally makes mistakes, tiny imperfections that can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. In the case of the 1988 penny, some coins were minted with a transitional error. This means they used a die intended for a different year, and as a result, the coin has unique features that make it incredibly rare. Rare equals valuable. It's like finding a limited edition sneaker in your size, but, for coin nerds. Here's a quick way to check: flip your penny over and look closely at the reverse. Pay attention to the FG initials under the Lincoln Memorial, which stand for the designer Frank Gasparo. On some 1988 pennies, the FG has a subtle difference. This is what makes them so unique. Still with me? Great! Now let me tell you a funny story about how I first got into coin collecting. A few years ago, I found an old jar of change in my parents' basement. I wasn't expecting much, but hey, I had some free time. So, I started sorting through the coins. At first, it was just pennies, nickels, and a handful of dimes. But then, I found a penny that looked odd. My heart started racing. I thought I had found $1 million coin. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. It was just a super dirty penny. But that moment sparked my curiosity, and here we are today, talking about actual $1 million pennies. Let's get back to business. You're probably wondering, how do I know if my 1988 penny is the one worth $1 million? Here's the deal: condition matters. A collector's dream is a coin in pristine condition, what's known as mint state. If your penny has been jingling around in your pocket with your keys for the past 35 years, it might not fetch the full $1 million, but it could still be worth a pretty penny, pun intended. So, what should you do if you think you found one? First, don't clean it. I know it's tempting to make it all shiny, but cleaning a coin can actually decrease its value. Instead, take it to a professional coin grader or a reputable coin dealer. They'll help you determine its true value. And who knows? You might just walk out of there with enough money to buy a car, pay off some debt, or take that dream vacation. Alright, my fellow coin hunters, we've covered a lot today. From the fascinating quirks of the 1988 Lincoln penny to what makes it so valuable, I hope you're inspired to dig through your change jar and see what treasures you might find. Remember, the next time you're about to toss a penny aside, give it a closer look. You never know what you might be holding. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, tips for finding hidden treasures, or just enjoy a good story, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Let's turn that pocket change into big bucks together. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging around in your car's cup holder, fishing out some change to pay for your morning coffee. You pull out a penny, toss it aside, and think, it's just a penny. Well, hold on, because what if I told you that one penny, a 2016 Mint Mark Lincoln penny to be exact, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? Yes, you heard me right. A single cent could change your life. Stick around, because today we're diving into the story behind this incredible coin. We'll talk about why it's worth so much, how to spot it, and I'll even share a personal story about the time I almost missed out on a valuable coin. Let's get started. Let's talk about what makes the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny so special. First off, the lack of a mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, most coins from Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so that's not unusual. What is unusual is the condition and rarity of this penny. The one that sold for $1.1 million was graded as mint state perfect, meaning it was in pristine condition. No scratches, no wear and tear, just as flawless as the day it was minted. And now, here's the million-dollar question: how do you know if you've got one of these valuable pennies? Start by checking the year. It has to say 2016. Then, flip it over and look for signs of a mint mark, usually a tiny letter like D or S. If there's no letter, congratulations, you've passed the first test. But wait, don't run to eBay just yet. The key to this coin's value lies in its condition. Experts grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70, and only those graded 68 and above are worth serious money. So, if your penny has been through the ringer, tossed in pockets, dropped on the ground, or chewed on by the dog, it's probably not going to hit that $1 million mark. Let me tell you a little story to make this real. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out an old drawer when I found a handful of coins. Among them was a shiny penny. It was a 2016 no mint mark penny, and for a split second, I thought I'd struck gold or, copper. But then I took a closer look. It had a few scratches, and the edges were worn. My dreams of buying a private island? Crushed. But here's the thing: that experience taught me to pay attention to my change. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. And guess what? I eventually did find a rare coin, though not worth $1.1 million, and sold it for a few $1,000s. Not too shabby for something that was just sitting in a junk drawer. So, how can you avoid missing out on a jackpot penny? Start by checking your change regularly. Invest in a magnifying glass or even a coin grading app to get a closer look at your coins. If you think you've got something special, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify its condition and authenticity, which is crucial if you want to sell it for top dollar. Let's add a bit of humor here. Imagine this scenario: you're at the grocery store, paying for a cart full of snacks, and the cashier hands you some change. You spot a 2016 penny, and your heart skips a beat. You lean in closer, squinting like Sherlock Holmes. The cashier asks, "Is everything okay?" And you blurt out, "I think I just became a millionaire." Cue awkward silence. But hey, who cares? You've got a potential treasure in your hand. So, what's the moral of the story? Never underestimate the humble penny. That little coin sitting in your pocket could be your ticket to financial freedom. The 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that treasure hunting isn't just for pirates, it's for everyday people like you and me. Before you go, here's your call to action. If you love learning about coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and join our community of coin enthusiasts. I've got plenty more tips, stories, and strategies to help you turn pocket change into serious cash. And who knows? Maybe your next penny will be worth $1 million. We're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins that could change your life, starting with one of the most elusive and valuable pennies out there. Yes, we're talking about the 1976 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This humble 1-cent coin might just be sitting in your jar of spare change, but guess what? It's worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Let that sink in. Imagine turning a penny into $1 million. Sounds unreal, right? Well, stick around, because I'll explain exactly why this coin is worth so much, what makes it special, and how you might just have one hiding in plain sight. But before we jump in, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out an old drawer at my grandma's house when I stumbled upon a small tin of coins. They were dusty, forgotten, and looked pretty ordinary. Being the coin nerd that I am, I took a closer look. Most of them were just your run-of-the-mill pennies, but there was one that looked different. For a moment, I thought I'd struck gold or copper, in this case. Spoiler alert, it wasn't a 1976 no mint mark penny, but it taught me the importance of always checking your coins. Who knows? You could be holding onto something life-changing now. Let's talk about what makes the 1976 no mint mark penny so special. First things first, when we say no mint mark, we're referring to the fact that this coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark on pennies back then. So, if your 1976 penny doesn't have a little D or S under the date, you're already on the right track. But here's the kicker: what really sets this coin apart isn't just the lack of a mint mark. It's the condition and the specific errors that occurred during production. Some of these pennies have unique characteristics like double die errors or unusual metal compositions. In short, they're the result of happy little accidents that make collectors go wild. The key here is rarity. The rarer the coin, the higher the value. And in the world of coin collecting, this penny is about as rare as finding a parking spot in a crowded city on a Saturday night. Now, you're probably wondering how this coin ended up being worth $1.2 million. Well, it's all about demand. Collectors love unique pieces of history, and they're willing to pay top dollar for them. Think of it like Pokemon cards or vintage sneakers. When something's rare and sought after, the price skyrockets. So, how do you know if you have one of these golden, copperage tickets? First, grab a magnifying glass and inspect your 1976 pennies. Check for the lack of a mint mark and look closely for any unusual features. If you're unsure, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and grade your coin, which is crucial if you're planning to sell it. Speaking of selling, let's talk strategy. If you do happen to own one of these coins, don't rush to the first buyer who offers you cash. Do your research and consider auctioning it through a reputable platform. That's where the big money is. Some of the highest sales for rare coins happen at auctions where collectors are willing to outbid each other. It's like eBay on steroids, but for millionaires. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. What are the chances of actually finding one of these pennies? I'll be honest, they're slim. But here's the thing: rare coins like this have been found in the most unexpected places. People have discovered them in old piggy banks, couch cushions, and even at flea markets. It's all about keeping your eyes open and knowing what to look for. So, there you have it, the story of the 1976 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth a staggering $1.2 million. It's a reminder that sometimes, the smallest things in life can hold the biggest surprises. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who's curious about the value of the spare change in your pocket, this is your sign to start paying attention. Who knows? Your next big break might be hiding in your junk drawer. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this thought. Coins like these aren't just valuable because of their rarity, they're little pieces of history. They've traveled through countless hands, seen decades of change, and now, they could change your life. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of treasure hunters, and let's uncover the hidden gems in your collection together. And hey, if you find a rare coin after watching this, drop a comment and share your story. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're rummaging through your couch cushions, or maybe you're cashing out your piggy bank, and boom, you come across a simple, brown penny. You're about to toss it into a coin jar, but wait. What if I told you that penny might be worth $1.3 million? That's right, just one little coin could change your entire financial game. Intrigued? Good, because today we're talking about the 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny and why it's got collectors going absolutely bonkers. And stick around because I'll share a story about how I almost missed out on a valuable coin myself. Yikes. Okay, so let's get into it. The 1972 penny without a mint mark is like the Beyoncé of pennies. Regular coins are cool, but this one's in a league of its own. Why? It's all about the doubling. Some of these pennies were struck with what's called a double die, which means the design, like Abe Lincoln's profile or the letters, looks like it's shadowed or doubled. It's not a factory defect, it's like an accidental masterpiece. If you're squinting at your screen wondering if you've seen one, relax. The doubling is super noticeable even without a magnifying glass. Trust me, this isn't one of those blink and you'll miss it things. And now, you're probably thinking, okay, cool, but why would someone drop over $1 million for a penny? Simple. Rarity plus demand equals big money. Out of the billions of pennies made in 1972, only a small number of these double die errors exist. Think of it like finding a Picasso in your attic, but way smaller and much shinier. Collectors go crazy for unique coins, especially when they're tied to historical moments. And let's face it, anything connected to Abraham Lincoln is automatically iconic. Here's the part where you start digging through every penny you've ever hoarded. To spot a 1972 double-die penny, look closely at the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters look like they've had a few too many coffees and decided to double up, you might be holding a jackpot. And here's the kicker, this penny doesn't have a mint mark. That means it was minted in Philadelphia, but they decided not to brag about it. Classic Philly, am I right? Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car. Pro tip, don't let it get to science experiment levels, and I found a penny stuck under the driver's seat. It was old, crusty, and had definitely seen better days. I almost tossed it into a vending machine for a bag of chips. But something told me to check it out. Turns out, it wasn't worth millions, but it was worth a couple $100. Not bad for a snack run, right? That experience taught me to never underestimate the power of pocket change. Who knows? You might already have a 1972 double-die penny chilling in your collection, just waiting to be discovered. So, what have we learned today? Pennies are way cooler than we thought, and you should definitely give them a second look before throwing them into a Coinstar machine. The 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. If you're feeling inspired to dig through your coin jar, I'd love to hear what you find. Drop a comment below if you think you've struck gold or, in this case, copper, and hey, if you want more tips on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and how to turn your pocket change into a fortune, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video and share it with a friend who might have their own $1 million penny sitting in a drawer. Hey, what's up, coin collectors and treasure hunters? Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, what if this little copper coin is worth way more than just 1 cent? Well, you're not alone. I was there once too. I remember digging through a jar of old pennies at home and pulling out a 1964 Lincoln penny. I almost tossed it back in with the rest, but something stopped me. I had a weird feeling, like that coin was staring me down, saying, "Don't underestimate me, pal." And guess what? I didn't. Turns out, it wasn't just any penny, it was worth a heck of a lot more than I ever imagined. So, today, we're diving into the value of the 1964 Lincoln penny, a coin that could be worth up to $1.4 million. Yep, you heard me right. A penny. And I'm not talking about the ones you find stuck under the couch cushions. This one is special, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why. First off, let's talk about the 1964 penny in general. This little guy was made at the Denver Mint, which is why it's got the D mint mark. Now, the Lincoln penny was first released back in 1909, and it's been through a lot over the years, from changes in design to all the different mint marks, including the D for Denver. In 1964, we saw the last of the pre-1965 coins with a high copper content, 95% copper, 5% tin, and zinc. After 1964, pennies were made with a lower copper content, which means they weren't as heavy and didn't have the same shiny appeal. So, the 1964 penny is actually a bit of a gem because it has the old-school feel and weight of a classic penny. And now, you might be wondering, why on earth would a 1964 penny be worth $1.4 million? Well, let me tell you, it's all about rarity and condition. See, there's a super tiny chance that during its minting, a few of these pennies were made with errors. And when we talk about error coins, we're talking about something that wasn't supposed to happen, like a misstrike, a double die, or some weird flaw that makes the coin extra unique. If you're lucky enough to have a 1964 Lincoln penny with one of these rare errors, it could be worth big money. We're talking up to $1.4 million. And before you go rummaging through your pockets, let me tell you, most of those 1964 pennies are, well, not worth $1.4 million. But hey, if you've got one in mint condition or with a rare mistake, you could be holding onto some serious cash. I've had a few aha moments when finding valuable coins. Just a couple of months ago, I was at a local coin shop, and an older gentleman walked in holding a tin can filled with old coins. He asked the dealer if any of them were worth something. The dealer picked up one coin, glanced at it, and his face lit up. It was a 1964 penny, but not just any penny, it had a double die. That little mistake made the coin worth $10,000, and it was in rough shape. Now, I'm not saying every 1964D penny is going to make you rich, but there are definitely some ways to increase your chances. If you happen to come across one that looks a little different or has some strange markings, get it checked out by a professional. You never know, and here's a funny little secret: I once thought I had a rare penny, only to realize it was just dirt. You know, I could have sworn it was a special error coin, but after a good cleaning, it turned out to be as normal as any other penny. It was like a classic case of the penny that got away. But hey, I learned my lesson. Check the coin, don't just go by your gut. So, how do you tell if your 1964D penny is worth something? There are a couple of things to look out for: a coin in pristine condition, meaning no scratches, no discoloration, and definitely no rust, is going to be more valuable. If you find a 1964D penny that's been kept in a safe, dry place and has almost no wear, you might have a winner. Look for double dies, misshapes, or unusual minting flaws. These are rare, but they do happen. Get your coin graded by a professional. There are services out there that can evaluate the coin's condition and rarity, and that can seriously increase its value. Keep an eye on the market. Coin values can fluctuate depending on demand and collector interest. What's worth a lot today might not be worth as much tomorrow, and vice versa. So, the 1964D Lincoln penny may just look like another dusty old coin, but it could actually be worth up to $1.4 million. If you've got one in mint condition or with a rare error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But even if your 1964D penny isn't a goldmine, it's still a pretty neat piece of history. I hope this video gave you some solid tips and maybe a little inspiration to start checking your pennies more closely. Because who knows? That coin you almost tossed aside might just be a rare gem. And hey, if you want more tips on coins worth money and all the insider info you need to become a coin expert, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join me on this coin collecting adventure, and let's find those hidden treasures together. Hey everyone! So, picture this: you're going through a jar of old pennies, thinking they're all just pocket change, right? But then, boom, you come across a 1966 penny with an MO mint mark. Wait, what? It's not just any ordinary penny, it's worth a whopping $1.5 million. I know, sounds like a dream, right? Well, believe it or not, some pennies really are worth more than most of us will make in a lifetime. Stick around as we dive into why the 1966 MO mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be your golden ticket to big bucks. Alright, let's break this down. First, you're probably wondering, what in the world is a 1966 MO mint mark penny? Well, most pennies minted in the US have either a P, D, or S mint mark. But the MO mint mark? That's a super rare mistake, actually, a misprint. The coin was supposed to have a regular D mint mark from the Denver Mint, but instead, it got stamped with MO as an error. This little oops in the minting process makes this penny incredibly valuable. And now, here's the kicker: the 1966 MO penny isn't just any rare find. A few of these rare pennies have been sold for up to $1.5 million. I know, it sounds insane. I remember the first time I found a coin in my change jar that wasn't a regular penny. I got all excited thinking I'd struck gold, only to realize it was just a 1983 penny with some weird tarnish. Not quite the same, huh? But imagine the thrill of finding a coin that's worth enough to buy a new car, pay off your student loans, or even take a trip to the moon. Well, maybe not the moon, but close. That's the magic of coins like the 1966 MO penny. This isn't just about luck, it's about knowing what you're looking for. So, how do you find a penny like this? First off, don't just go looking through your piggy bank. It's all about looking for that special MO mint mark, which most people overlook. The 1966 penny is already pretty valuable on its own, but when you find one with the MO mark, you're looking at a real treasure. These pennies are crazy rare and could easily go for six figures or more, depending on the condition. Now, don't go thinking all 1966 pennies are worth a ton. Only those with the right error are going to bring you the big bucks. If your 1966 penny looks a little scratched up or isn't in mint condition, it might not be worth much more than face value. But if it's in good shape? Well, you might just be looking at a $1.5 million coin. And that's not just some fantasy, people are getting paid serious money for these rare coins. It's like winning the lottery, but without having to buy a ticket. So here's the deal: if you've got a jar of old coins or even just a few pennies floating around your couch cushions, you might want to give them a second look. Who knows? You could be sitting on a small fortune. If you find that 1966 MO penny, you'll probably want to call an expert, but it could be your ticket to a huge payout. And let's be real, that would be a story worth telling. And before you go diving into your change jar like it's an episode of Hoarders, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of tips and tricks coming your way to help you spot coins that are actually worth money. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next big find. Hey there, coin lovers. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that some pennies out there are worth more than your car, your house, or dare I say your entire Netflix subscription bill? That's right. One particular penny, a 1967 with no mint mark, could be sitting in your pocket right now, just waiting to make you a small fortune. We're talking about a coin worth over $1.6 million. Sounds like a fairy tale? Stick with me, and I'll tell you exactly why this penny might just be the most valuable thing you own. No fairy godmother needed. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. So, here's the deal with this 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny. It was made at the US Mint, but there's a twist: this penny doesn't have a mint mark. That means it wasn't stamped with a letter like most of them, which is super rare. Normally, you'd find a D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco on your pennies, but this one? It's just, well, plain. No mint mark, no fuss, just pure historical gold, well, copper, but you get the idea. Now, you might be wondering, how in the world did a simple penny end up being worth $1.6 million? Good question. It all comes down to rarity and condition. You see, the 1967 no mint mark penny was produced in such limited numbers that not many of them have survived in pristine condition. You've probably heard of rare coins being worth money, but this one? It checks all the boxes: rarity, historical significance, and a splash of good old coin luck. To make things even crazier, finding a penny like this isn't like finding a shiny penny on the sidewalk. Oh, no. It's like stumbling upon a four-leaf clover in a field full of dandelions. Most people don't realize how rare this penny is, so they toss it in their pocket and forget about it. But for coin collectors, it's a holy grail, and here's where it gets even wilder. I remember when I was a kid, probably about 10 or 11, I found a penny in the parking lot while walking home from school. I picked it up and thought, this is lucky. I didn't know back then that some pennies could be worth a small fortune. Fast forward a few years, and I was reading about rare coins when I came across this exact penny, one I had probably passed over in my childhood without giving it a second glance, and let me tell you, I definitely wished I had known better. It made me realize just how much potential is hidden in these little coins. That's why I'm here today, so you don't make the same mistake I did. So, back to the 1967 no mint mark penny. It's worth big money, yes, but it's not just about the cash. It's a piece of American history. It's that little slice of nostalgia, and maybe, just maybe, it's tucked away in a drawer somewhere in your house right now. What are the odds? Well, let's just say, they're better than you think. Alright, folks, here's the deal: check your change. You never know what's sitting in your pocket or hidden away in that old jar of loose change collecting dust. I mean, if I had known back in the day what a rare coin could be worth, I'd have been a coin hunting pro by the age of 12. Now, before you go rummaging through your coin collection or your couch cushions, I have one more thing for you. If you want more tips, tricks, and strategies for finding coins that could be worth a fortune, hit that subscribe button and join the coin-loving community. We've got all sorts of valuable coin tips waiting for you. Plus, who knows? Maybe the next time you find a penny, it'll be worth more than a week's worth of coffee. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters. So, imagine this: you're digging through a jar of old pennies you found in your drawer, thinking, why on earth did I keep these? You're about to toss them in the trash, but then, hold up. What if I told you that one of those very pennies could be worth a fortune? Sounds like a plot twist, right? Well, today we're talking about a coin that's more valuable than your grandma's secret cookie recipe. Yep, I'm talking about the 2008 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It's not just any old penny. This bad boy is worth up to $1.7 million. I know, I can see the skepticism on your face, but stick with me, and I'll show you why this penny could change your life. And now, let's break this down. The 2008 D penny may seem like just another piece of change, but it's actually a rare gem in the world of numismatics. When most people think of valuable coins, they picture rare, old treasures like the 1909 SVDB penny or those magical 1943 copper pennies. But the 2008 D? It's one of the newer coins that slipped under the radar and is now worth a jaw-dropping $1.70 million. Here's why. In 2008, there was a very small batch of Lincoln pennies that were mistakenly minted with a unique error. This error made the coin significantly more valuable than it should have been. The D Mint mark, which usually stands for the Denver Mint, became the key that unlocked this treasure. Not many of these errors are out there, so when they're found, they can go for big bucks. Think of it like stumbling upon a rare Pokemon card in a yard sale, the ones everyone's been hunting for but can't seem to find. Okay, but you're probably asking, how do I know if I've got one of these elusive coins? Great question. There are a few things to look for. First, check the mint mark. If it's a D, we're off to a good start. Next, look for the error. This usually shows up in the form of a slight misalignment or doubling of the design. If you've got a penny with those signs, you could be looking at a mini fortune. And just to add a little humor here, I remember the first time I found a coin with a D mint mark. I thought, alright, I'm gonna be rich. But it turned out to be just another common penny. So, moral of the story, not every D is a $1 million jackpot. But if you happen to strike gold with that 2008 D penny, you'll be laughing all the way to the bank. So, what does all this mean for you? Keep searching, keep hunting, and always remember, one man's trash is another man's treasure. That old jar of pennies might just hold the key to your next big windfall. And hey, if you're still not sure how to spot these rare coins, don't sweat it. I've got your back. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and coin hunting strategies to help you discover valuable coins just like the 2008 D Lincoln penny. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next, because who knows, your next find might just be worth millions.